My name is Ryan. My friend Kyle and I have taken our barroom conversations to the internet in the form of Michigan's most up-and-coming sports talk podcast. From baseball to Bigfoot, we cover it all. You're in for a treat because you have found the Turbo and 2K show. "2K crew, what is up? What is up? It's Turbo, as always, coming to you on Saturday. And lo and behold, I know what you're going to say. God, please don't have Christian. Please don't have Christian. Well, you're in luck. Customs let him back in. Mr. 2Ks has a seat back. Welcome back, brother. Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah, and luckily you brought some of the warm weather with you, so...
Yes, yeah. Mexico was great. I had a great time down there. The only unfortunate thing is I'm not a huge soccer fan. That's all that they show down there. That's the only thing that you can find.
Well, I mean, it's probably one of those things, one in Rome, right? One in Rome, one in Mexico. But yeah, 2K crew, I did want to start out the show with this. We actually have a quite possibly our new number one fan. And that fan just happens to be my sister-in-law, Melissa Jackson. And she sent me a text on Wednesday. It says, so I've finished all of your podcasts. Listening to them back to back to back was fun because I could really hear how much you guys improved each week. Also, in the beginning, you talked about dicks a lot, but by the end, there was almost no mention of dicks. I really enjoy it. Keep it up. And to which I replied to her, I said, LOL, thanks for the I gave her kudos, and I said, we'll have to step our game up on dick talks. So, Miss Melissa, thank you for the kind words, and yes, we will be talking more about dicks. So, I know you're yearning for that, so.
Ooh, goody.
but you have to remember this is a sports talk podcast, not we're not at your mom's house quite yet, so. But speaking of sports... You know, there was a lot of stuff that went down while you were gone, and Christian and I kind of took care of a lot of the baseball talk last week, but there's a lot of other stuff that we can kind of fill in, and if you're not fully up to speed, you know, we can bring you up to speed and get your take on everything. But one thing that Christian and I were going to touch on was the NBA, and we were running a little bit long, so I'm going to bring the NBA talk to you. So maybe you are our senior NBA analyst?
I'll give it a shot. Anything to get me away from soccer. It's too much soccer going on last week. And
you'll be our senior NBA analyst until someone takes your seat on that. So, leading up to the conference finals, you know, there were a couple big Game 7s. We had the Rockets, which I think they just shit the bed, 100%. And then we had Kawhi's pretty much dagger.
Yeah. Did that thing hit the rim 14 times, I think, before it went down?
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco.
Go.
You
shouldn't have been there.
We have some breaking news into the Turbo and 2K show. We did have some audio difficulties, so I am going to cut and paste what I can into this instead of just throwing the feed away altogether and not having a show this week. Also, just to let everyone know, our senior golf analyst, Jacob Berg, did not make it this week, so when you do hear us talk about that, I do apologize. So with that being said, on with the show. Just a little FYI, we are talking about how the Rockets, if they can rebuild, what they can do to get over the hump against the Warriors. So again, here's the show. We might, in this society, we might be overreacting because, I mean, you look at how many years did Michael prepare before he actually took down the Pistons? It was 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. And finally they put a team around him that they took it to the Pistons. So is it one of those situations and we're just kind of a microwave society where we want it right now? Or ultimately, are we, is it, you know, we're looking at, you know, two potentially Hall of Famers in Chris Paul and James Harden, and where if they end their career in Houston and Golden State stays intact, you know, are we just going to chalk them up with like Charles Barkley, Reggie Miller, and that crew that are Hall of Famers by all means, Patrick Ewing, that never won a title because of Michael Jordan. So yeah, ultimately, like I said, aside from just tearing the whole thing down, starting from scratch, do you think there's any way?
Well, the first problem that they have is they're in the West. You got to go through the Warriors every year. And until, maybe this offseason things will change. Maybe, there's possibilities that Durant leaves. There's possibilities that Klay Thompson leaves.
Yep.
And things maybe will change. But, right now they have to go through the Warriors to get there. And teams haven't been able to do that the last 2 years. I mean, they went on to win it all. Not even LeBron could beat them. So that's their biggest problem. The second problem is the Chris Paul contract kills them.
Yes.
Chris Paul, nothing. I'm not trying to be negative with him. 5-6 years ago, when he was really at his prime.
Him in the Blake Griffin years.
Yes.
Even before that.
Phenomenal point guard. But he's at the tail end of his career. He's out of his prime now. He's not the same Chris Paul that we were watching 4 or 5 years ago when he was with the Clippers, or even back in his the Hornets days and all that. He's not the same. Not that same point guard. So they took on that contract, and that takes away from, they don't have money now to fill in all the other holes that they have in their lineup. And
yeah, they legit have $6 million in cap space.
Yeah.
And you can be like, all right, Turb, you fucking moron. All they can do is, they can get in the draft and hit someone that, find pay dirt. They don't have a draft pick either. No. They do not have a draft pick this year.
And not only...
and the majority of the players that are on that team are under contract for the next 2 or 3 years. Yeah. So...
And not only are the Warriors their only problem, but they have to get through Denver. And Denver's a young, up-and-coming team. Portland, same thing to be said about them. Portland, arguably, maybe the deepest team in the NBA.
Oh, God, yes.
So... And when you have all that money forked into, two big names on their team, they don't have any depth.
No.
So you get past, you have to, Harden goes off the floor, Chris Paul goes off the floor. You don't have anybody that you really ever heard of.
Right.
To where Denver's throwing, 9-10 different guys at you. Same thing with the Trailblazers. They're 9-10 guys deep.
They're doing like hockey line changes.
Yes. And you can't do that. And same thing can be said for the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors have been brilliant. They have been brilliant with what they've done with their draft picks, what they've done in the offseason with their signings. They were hands down. They were maybe the best team in the NBA before they got Durant.
Yep. The one thing that adding Durant did was deplete their bench.
Yes.
That was the only thing. Hey, 2K crew, you're American when you go into the bathroom, and you're American when you come out. But what are you while you're in there? European. We're going to fast forward into the coverage of our conference finals talk. I think ultimately we're going to get the 2 best teams. Which now, mind you, this is going against my pick because I picked the Warriors. I picked the Rockets to beat the Warriors. But, ultimately, I think that the East, Milwaukee's going to sweep. I'm taking it right now, and which is really easy for me to do because I'm not putting any fucking money on it. But, and Mr. 2K is our prognosticator. He sees shit before anyone does. So, I say.
I was pretty spot on with that golf, too, this year.
I say sweep. He's probably right. It's going to go 5.
And I did pick Milwaukee and Warriors in the finals. Although I think about everybody, that was pretty much a safe bet to take.
Well, it was one of those things where, you had, and if I'm not mistaken, you had 1 and 2 on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
So, but, you know what? I'm tired of talking about basketball. I really am.
It's hard. And when you call me like the senior NBA guy, like I don't want that job.
I don't want that on my resume.
No, I don't. I have a hard time talking about it. But we do need to touch in on the draft lottery also.
Yes. Well, yep. You're right. Big deal this week. Right. Let's
suck it up. Get through one more little thing.
Fine.
I mean, this has kind of been the theme of Turbo and the 2Ks.
You're right,
we talked about Zion.
We've been riding that Zion train, and Melissa, we've been sucking that Zion dick. So there's your dick talk.
Absolutely.
There's your dick talk. So, but yeah, you're right. This is something that Christian and I were going to touch on last week and didn't get a chance to. But man, if you're fucking Zion, you play your ass off. You take the whole basketball world by storm. Oh, fuck.
Only to end up a fucking Pelican.
Gonna be a Pelican.
It's like the...
Well, I'm going to be a Pelican without Anthony Davis.
Yeah. And we watched the same thing play out and happen to Anthony Davis, who... I'm not going to suck on Zion anymore because I think Anthony Davis in college was better than Zion in college.
NBA-wise, yes. Yes, technically, yes.
Anthony Davis is one of the best college players I've ever watched in my time.
Exciting.
Probably not. No, not
athletic.
there. Not there.
No.
But
he wasn't a linebacker playing a post. But
going on football talk, I would rather see Zion playing for the Saints than I would rather watch Zion line up at tight end and be the next Gronk for Drew Brees.
And you know what? I would love our New Orleans constituents down there text us at Turbo and 2Ks and be like, hey, would you rather have Zion playing basketball or football?
Yeah.
And I guarantee 99% of them would agree with you right now.
Absolutely.
Put the motherfucker as a tight end.
Yes.
And Jimmy Graham, who?
I would be so intrigued to see him.
Could you imagine how high Drew Brees could throw the ball and then just come down with it? I mean, Tim Tebow, like jump pass style, in the end zone. Drew Brees could take the snap, underhand it just in the corner of the end zone, and Zion would be 2 feet above everybody else. Yeah, that would be the ultimate.
Thinking about like fantasy football drafts, Zion coming in as an NFL rookie. How far up are you reaching to snag Zion as your tight end with the Saints?
Well, I guarantee the fucking Lions would have taken him.
Oh, jeez. They love their tight ends. We've seen that over the years. They love their tight ends. And
then after 4 years, he'd go somewhere else and be a very productive tight end.
Yeah. I mean, they went out and spent $72 million on Jesse James and then turned around and fucking drafted another tight end.
And they're like, well, this isn't like the bank robber. This is an actual football player. Oh, shit. We fucked up.
It's like, I've never seen Matthew Stafford complete 3 passes in a fucking game to a tight end. But, hey, we'll draft another one. I mean...
Well, if he completes 3 a game to 1, that's 6-2.
Yeah. But the thing that cracked me up for years, and now we're switching over to the NFL talk, but it cracked me up for years with Lions fans, is all I heard from Lions fans is, Ebron fucking sucks. He's such a bum.
I'm not even a Lions fan, and I say that.
Yeah, he sucked. The guy doesn't suck. Andrew Luck actually really likes him.
He actually uses him. Yeah, that's the thing.
He actually uses him. So
he's like, oh my god, Matthew Stafford throws the ball too hard.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Brett Favre threw the ball really fucking hard. Broke I don't know how many fingers and thumbs of receivers. They didn't bitch about it until they were retired.
But I go on. I just want to sit here and bash on Lions fans a little bit more because
the mic is yours.
They talk like they know everything. Like we know it all. We know everything. Well, you don't. You don't know everything because Ebron went on to have a fucking Pro Bowl season in his first year as a Colt.
Pretty sure he was either tied for the most touchdown catches or led the league.
Yeah,
just saying.
And I bet you those Lions fans will be drafting his ass. You know, they'll be stretching in their fantasy drafts next year, drafting him in the fucking 4th, 5th round.
Speaking of fantasy drafts, I did put good plug for that, by the way. I did put the feelers out for the first annual Turbo and 2Ks Fantasy Football League. And a lot of you have been asking for details. And now that we have enough, we actually have some folks that are interested. Fuck yes, we're doing it.
Jump in on it, people, and donate some money to 2Ks over here because I don't lose.
Fuck you.
Turbo knows I don't lose.
That's why you're never in my league. That's fine. That's fine.
Everybody's trying to get me kicked out of the Drop Anchor League too because I win every year.
Well, I'm just shocked no one's jumped at the fact that to take over the league manager position over there, which all you involved, I'm sure someone's going to. So calm down, and it's not going to be me. Not going to be me.
We got the Turbo and 2Ks league now to worry about.
I gave you guys 11 years. I think that's enough.
Absolutely.
I think that's enough. But, so yeah, Jim Cripe, if you're listening.
Jump on it.
But yeah, but yes, I will be put it this way, go find the post in the group. If you haven't replied to it, liked it or anything, go do that, because I'm going to chase likes and reply to comments via personal message, because this isn't going to be free. It's going to cost some money, because, and I know there's a lot of folks, oh my God, you didn't charge any money for the tournament challenge. The tournament challenge
bullshit.
is different.
That's stupid.
That, and we were just getting out the gate. So next year's tournament challenge is going to have a coin behind it too. But yeah, it'll all be paid via PayPal, and it would really be cool if we could do a live draft. But I have a feeling, even if we do an online draft, let's meet somewhere. Yeah. So we can do a live
on air.
Well, that'd be.
I want to do on air draft, so I can everybody that joins can learn from Mr. 2K's over here.
Oh man, he's putting on a clinic, bro.
I know what I'm doing when it comes draft day.
Now, see, one thing that you, me, and like I'm perfectly fine with running the league the same scoring system we've been doing for years.
I agree.
But there's a lot of folks that don't know our scoring system, and
a little bit different from the old standard.
Yeah. Which when it gets closer, we'll get further into that. Hey, 2K crew, a woman is on trial for beating her husband to death with his guitar collection. The judge asked her first offender. She says, "Hell no. First was a Gibson, then a Fender." We're going to interrupt this fantasy football talk to go out and call out Mr. Christian Hutson. You have been challenged, so Mr. 2Ks wants to bring you on, so let's hear the details and see why he wants you on the show so bad. Some of our listeners will be like, oh, you guys know your shit, you guys are good, but you agree too much. Well,
I think we probably do. Christian and I, and for anybody that listening and doesn't know, Christian and 2Ks have been best friends forever. I mean, we're the same age, we came up together, we basically
he's the best man in your wedding.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, best friend. So he's the first guy that I wanted to pick to fill in for me on weeks when I'm not here.
Well, once we told him about the podcast, he's like, "Bro, you better put me on.
Yeah.
You better put me on."
And he's
like, all right, fine.
And me and him don't argue about, or we don't agree with everything when it comes to sports. But he's
a White Sox fan. I can agree with him on anything.
But he knows his shit. He's a very intelligent sportsman. He knows his things. So I was actually talking to Turbo before we went on the air tonight. I'm like, we need to get Christian on here when I'm here, because he hasn't been here since on any of the days that I've been here. Because me and him used to have some freaking battles, man, at the bar, down in the basement, playing video games. We'd battle it out all the time, arguing stuff. So
dick size.
Yeah, which 2K's got that on lock.
You're welcome, Melissa.
But so I look forward to having him on and to be able to argue some baseball. And when it comes, I think it's pretty easy to say about all three of us.
Yeah.
Baseball is our favorite. That's our favorite thing to talk about. We each have our own opinions, and I think it would be a good battle. Honestly, when it comes down to NBA, and you're talking to me about being senior NBA guy, and I don't want to have that name.
I just gave it to you because I didn't want it.
Christian knows his shit with the NBA. He follows the NBA.
What the fuck didn't you even tell me that? We could have done the whole NBA show last week.
He knows his shit when it comes to the
Christian.
NBA. He follows it.
Christian, stop.
It's been some off years for him here lately because he's a big Bulls fan.
Of course he is.
So the Bulls have been down.
He's still waiting for Chris Rose to come back. When
it comes to any big time NBA news that comes out, I normally always go to Christian first and talk to him because he knows his NBA.
I'm so disappointed, Christian. Could have done this. You and I could have taken the baseball.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I heard you guys talking about baseball when I was in Mexico, and I was like, I'm so fucking jealous right now.
Christian, I hate you right now. Yes, and it's funny that you brought that up because after we were done with the show last week, Christian posed that to do it this week, but since it's a major week during golf, we're bringing in actually tomorrow, and then I'm going to try to edit it in the best I can. We're going to bring our senior golf analyst, Mr. Jake Berg, in to get his analysis on everything and see what we can figure out, prognosticate, and try to fanboy all the dudes. Now that we've got on the golf thing, finally.
Yes.
And, of course, we're going up against our hour here, but that's fine. Kepka's hat. I can't do it. I can't. But between that and the dudes wearing skin-tight fucking pants.
Yeah.
Stop. Please stop.
That's kind of become the new style now with golf pants. Is they're wearing them tighter now.
How can you feel comfortable and walk?
I don't know how
in that tight of pants.
I want to be able to swing in them. Like when I'm thinking about my golf swing, I'm doing a lot of moving down there. And
my balls need room to roam.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
but going on about the hat, like I was telling you before we went on the air, I honestly like.
I actually brought the subject up. I'm like, that hat's fucking stupid, and you're like, I like it, and I
Googled the hat today to see where I could buy it because I kind of wanted to have one. And when I Google it, it doesn't pop up like that it's for sale. It pops up of all these different people just bashing the hat, and I'm like,
it's fucking stupid.
Why does everybody hate the hat so bad?
I don't know. Maybe it's.
I think it's because it's a Nike thing, and when everybody thinks of Nike, they think of the swoosh.
My biggest thing is I would much rather. And this is going to sound completely stupid, but instead of saying Nike up the brim,
just say it across.
I'd be fine with that.
Agree with that.
It'd be simple. It'd be nice. It'd be a tight little hat. I get it, but not a fan.
The only thing I mean, the reason why I like the horizontal is because I haven't seen it before. It's something different, and maybe that's why people are bashing it.
That's a vertical, by the way.
It's a different thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a different thing, and so I don't know. I like it.
I
want one. And you know what? Maybe next week here at Turbo and 2Ks, I'm going to wear one.
Well, I'll make fun of it. But, I mean, there's a lot of people that say it looks like a racing stripe, and goddamn Koepka's racing the fuck home with that trophy.
If I'm swinging the club like he is this week, I'm going to keep wearing that hat as long as it's going to take me.
If you told me buying that hat would make me play Bethel Page like that, I'd buy 5 of them.
Absolutely.
Because if I can play that course like that, Pineview ain't got shit. Are you kidding me? The only problem I'd have at Pineview is driving at 305 and missing the green. Which I was talking to a dude at work at say it was Thursday. No, it was Friday, and I was watching or listening. I was listening, and they're like, as long as he doesn't fly the green or fly the fairway, the sand trap's 305 out. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, in my game, I was like, I don't give a shit. Pull the driver out. Definitely not hitting it that far. Probably hitting it 50 yards ahead of that. I'll be safe. And I cannot remember, and I've been trying to remember since Thursday when I heard this, who they were talking to or talking about. Dude pipes at 315 on the fly and sinks it right in the deepest, biggest fucking bunker. And I sat there and thought to myself, and I'm like, all right, well, you know what? If it's 305 to the edge of the bunker, that would be the time, somehow, God forbid, I would actually pipe at 315 and put it in the deepest bunker in the whole fucking course. But you know what? If I did that, 2Ks, you know what I'd do? I'd pull my pants down, hit the sand shot with my dick out. Why? Because I just hit it 315 in the middle of this fucking bunker.
Absolutely.
If you don't like it,
why wouldn't you?
You hit it 315, bitch. Tell me how you do it. Tell me how you would do it, please. Please.
No, but like, so going on to the PGA Championship coverage, I know you and Jake are going to be talking about it tomorrow. I won't be there. Won't be here to talk about that, which kind of upsets me because I do like to talk about golf.
It's your and your wife's anniversary.
It is our first year anniversary. We made it through a year.
You haven't killed each other yet?
Not yet. We're still in that as some people would call it, the honeymoon stage, which people keep telling me that, and I'm like, we have 3 kids. Like, there's what honeymoon stage are you talking about? Like, shit's fucking chaos every single night.
Yeah, there is no easing into that. No, that's something you just cannonball into.
Yeah, and you
either sink or swim. So you've been swimming for a year.
Been swimming so far. Actually, we swam our asses down to Mexico this past week.
Shut the fuck up.
And so that was kind of our anniversary getaway. It was a little bit before our actual anniversary, but
it's all right.
It was the first trip that we've ever made without our kids, and we just did our own thing.
The kids survived.
Yes, they made it. They made it thanks to my mother-in-law, Brenda. I have to thank you.
Oh, Brenda's a trooper.
She held the fort down.
Brenda's a trooper. Brenda's an OG.
She held the fort down. All 3 of them are still alive. All 3 of them are still good.
Did you put the dog in the closet again?
I don't even care what happened with the dog. I don't. Again, I have 3 kids. I'm worried about them. The dog, I don't really care as long as he's still there. And he's still there. He's at the house. Unfortunately, when we got home, he was still there. So,
speaking of dogs, you might be like, "Oh my God, Turbo's dog is being absolutely amazing." No, she's actually at my girlfriend Kristen's house. So, we've kind of come to an agreement. When I play softball on Fridays, it's better for her to spend the night Thursday at Kristen's house, so that she doesn't have to spend basically all day and halfway through the night in the cage. So, trying to be a good puppo daddy, and Kristen's being an absolute amazing puppo mom. So it works out really good.
Yeah, and Kristen has another puppy of the same litter, right? Is it a brother or a sister?
Yep.
So I mean,
so she's got Morgan, mine. Hers is Layla, and she has another black lab. And what's funny is that Layla, who is the smallest of the 3, is a little goddamn thug and runs the whole house. She's the one picking fights. She's the one getting rambunctious. But Morgan's right there behind her. She's like, no. She's finally realizing that I'm about 20 pounds heavier than you. You might be almost as tall as me, but bitch, this is not going down like that. I'm not going down like that. Well, Mr. 2Ks, we're at our hour.
It's been a good time.
I
like it when I like when we kind of just go off the record and talk about whatever we want instead of what we have wrote down.
Well, I mean, to me, the best content comes out.
Oh yeah,
that's completely unresearched. So when we can take things off the track and kind of run with it, I'm cool with that. But to be legit, like a legit show, we kind of have to have some sort of structure.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and now our listeners, by all means, 90% of the show, let's give us some credit. Let's say 60% of the stuff we talk about is actually the stuff that's on the agenda. The other 40% is complete bullshit that we come off with off the top of the dome. And to me, that's what makes the show relatable. That's what makes us relatable to our audience, and that's what brings our personality out. Oh, so I will never do a show where it has to be all right, talk about this for 2 minutes. Yeah. And now I'm not talking about like the PTI style.
Yeah,
they do those little dingers. Otherwise, they go off on one subject for the whole time. That's not what I'm talking about. If we can't bring our personalities and our persuasion, if you want to call it that, out to our listeners, then we might as well stop.
And the same goes for me. I mean, I listen to a lot of different sports podcasts, and I always want to listen to different people and kind of see how they do things. And I never want to be that guy that just sits here and posts different statistics. I don't want to talk about stats. I don't want to break all that stuff down. Now, sometimes in a conversation, am I going to throw out a batting average here or RBIs here? Yeah. But I'm not going to sit here and just post you every single stat there is. I want to just talk.
I think last week was probably our stattiest show because we did new faces, new places, 1 month in.
But that's a time too. Yeah, that's a time to throw some stats around. Which, for the most part, I want to watch games.
The new faces and the new places are not raking.
No,
Bryce is off to his worst start of his career.
Which I called him to be the MVP, National League MVP.
He's still got time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The baseball season's a long year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really... Until it's warm enough to go outside in your swim shorts, here in Michigan, that's when I start actually breaking down baseball numbers. Until then, I really don't care.
It's one of those, you just got to play well enough not to lose it.
Yeah.
You still have to be relevant. So, Red Sox Nation, calm down. We'll be fine.
Detroit Nation, we're not fine. We're not fine. We got...
Well, that's going to be a topic we're going to talk about next week because I've had a lot of people ask me about Detroit Tigers baseball, and I was like, just hold on. Hold on. And it's one of those things where I don't want to just talk about 1 or 2 minutes about it. I want to give it its due diligence, and like we've talked about in the past, I'm not a huge Tigers fan, but I am a fan because we can watch all the games on Fox Sports Detroit, so of course I follow them, and my take is probably going to be a lot different than yours, and probably going to be a lot different than Christian's because Christian hates the Tigers. Yeah. So,
but I'm a huge Tigers fan. I follow the Tigers probably more than any other sports franchise there is. Between
you and Christian, you guys can name off their whole fucking farm system.
Yeah, and I would like to say that I know a lot about the Tigers. So I urge everybody that's listening, especially if you want to hear about Tigers talk, post questions.
Yes.
Post anything you want this week on the page. If we're going to talk about Detroit next weekend, hey, I'm willing to sit here and talk, answer any questions, tell you what I think. I can sit here and talk Tigers for an entire hour. Yeah. So anybody that wants to ask me any kind of questions or wants to hear any of my thoughts on the air, post a question.
And Mr. Justin, where an acceptable question is not, is it okay if the Cubs beat the Tigers 10-1? That is not an acceptable question.
It's probably going to happen, Justin Ware. Like, Jesus Christ. You guys have a fucking all-star team as your lineup, but I tell you one thing, Mr. Ware, you better go make a trade for a bullpen because you guys aren't winning any World Series until you make some improvements there.
Well, that's for all of our listeners, next week is probably going to be the most entertaining baseball hour. We're probably going to run over. I'm just going to tell you that right there. It's probably going to be an hour and a half.
Absolutely.
Maybe 2 hours. Who knows? Because when shit's gold, I'm definitely not going to cut it off. And let's be honest, when I edit shit, I really don't edit. So I just put the intro in and let it roll. So, but we're going to have a baseball I'm not even say heavy, exclusive, because by this time next week, the NBA finals aren't even going to start.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. What are we in month 2 now?
2.5. 2.5.
Because Turbo sends the agenda over to me, normally on Friday, of what we're going to be talking about. And, I got back from Mexico Thursday night. So I'm going, I get back to work on Friday, and Turbo sends me over the agenda, and I'm looking at it, and I'm excited. I mean, I'm coming back, I'm getting ready I'm going to be able to talk about sports. All I've been doing is watching soccer all week. So I get the agenda,
Football.
And it's NBA for the whole thing, and I'm like, God,
now see, this is where we need to be a better partnership. You should have been like, yo, talk to Christian about basketball. He's a basketball dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we did talk basketball a little bit because we got his take on the Hutson.
The Hudson Plummer matchup. What do you have to say about that?
Well, he pretty much aired it out. He's like, man, I was a better player the whole time. I look better.
Better conditioned athlete. Because at one time, Mr. Plummer said that he was the better conditioned athlete than Christian.
Well, Christian was boastful yet humble, if that's a thing.
Yeah. And I don't expect anything else out of Mr. Hutson. But the
fact that we're calling him Mr. Hutson, I think, is weird. But
I've always called him C Hut. C Hut's always been my name for him. So if you hear me, spouting off ever on air and I'm calling somebody C Hut, I'm talking about Christian. But yeah, he just flat out took care of business at the Plummer Invitational and did what he needed to do. And I hope Franklin he better be training. I hope he's shooting hoops right now in the driveway because he's got some practice to do.
You know what? It's maybe it was like a litmus test. He needs to know how good he actually is. So
I think it was a wake up call for sure.
So, and whoever he calls out next, you better be ready because I have a feeling you're going to get a better game than Christian did. So, and please, whoever he calls out next, don't dress like Dunham's threw up on you.
Yeah. That's the one thing.
Come a little more humble.
Looked like Malibu's most wanted out there playing.
Come a little bit more humble. It's his home court. Be respectful. Be respectful. But with that being said, Mr. 2Ks, it's great to have you back.
Great to be back.
Hopefully, we'll have you back in that stool for.
I don't have any vacations planned, so I'm going to be here for a while.
Oh, so you're not like going to Denmark next weekend or something?
No, not next weekend. Nope. I'm staying here.
Well, you know when you live the baller lifestyle you do, I mean, hey, fuck. It's been a month since I've been on vacation, man. We should go do something. But no, it's good to have you back in the reins, man. It's always a pleasure. Welcome back. Thank you for the warm weather. And thank you for the 2K crew, man. We are running up our downloads a lot faster than what I thought. I posted a thank you in the Facebook group. So, and our Spotify numbers are off the charts.
I think just alone starting that group on Facebook has made a big difference. I think that's gotten a lot of other people. I've had people reaching out, texting me, asking how they can download it, how they can listen to it. So
good. And yeah, like I said, it's without boring you for the why we started the page and then the group, but no, usually the group is a lot easier to follow. I mean, you can control the notifications a little better. So, with that being said, let's get out on that. Hell of a show. We're going to bring you Mr. Jake Berg tomorrow, which, if you're listening, it's going to be probably right about here or wherever that I decide to put it. But let's get you out on that. Join the Facebook group. I'm trying to get our Instagram game a little bit hotter. I might actually have, since you're the Twitter guru, I might just let you take over the Twitter account. And so we're a little bit more on there. Mm-hmm. And because I Twitter like once a week. And I'm really not even sure what I'm looking at. Hashtag old guy. But, yeah, we're almost at 500 downloads. So, and probably at the recording of this, we're probably past it. Mm-hmm. So, and what's really cool is we're at 500 downloads, yet our first show is still getting downloads. Yeah. So either there's a lot of people like we want to see where these motherfuckers started out and stopped, which is fine.
I mean, and that's kind of been the cool thing, with this process of doing this. I mean, when we first started, we were bad.
Well, that's
especially myself.
Well, that's kind of getting back to what Melissa said.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying by any means that I'm any good right now, because I'm not good. I'm still learning.
Well, you're better than Christian.
Well, thanks, I think. But I mean, but to Christian's defense, I mean, he's done it twice. Yeah. So I mean, it's not easy. It's you get up here and you look into a mic and you start trying to talk, and it's not as easy as what it is when you're sitting at the bar.
Well, that and you keep trying to talk to me, and I'm trying not to make no homo eye contact with you, but still trying to look at the TV. So, yeah, I'm sure I'm not the easiest person to talk to. But yeah, 2K crew, we love you. Keep it up. We wouldn't be here. Well, we'd still be here without you. We'd still be doing what we're doing because we love to do it. And that's what it boils down to. So let's get out on that. And as always, Jim Rome, we're coming for you. I've got